You can introduce it, Clive, today.
Okay, everyone, welcome to the Paul Pluta channel. And Live with Clive, I guess that's me. Hi. And we're going to talk wristwatch and confessions. I don't know if I like where this is going.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of police drama. I've been watching a lot of Legal Eagle sort of stuff. I've been watching videos on the police and things like that there. So I've just out of interest, guys, I don't know if they want me to share this with them. Look, how many people are watching this video we're doing now, Clive? Not many, are there? It's Chris. Sorry?
21 now.
I'll put a link in the live chat. Don't watch it now, guys, but I'll put a link in the live chat. You can actually watch this great video on law enforcement.
33 watching now.
Okay, it's about to go down to 15 after they start watching this video.
No, 35. So 35. It's amazing. Yeah, 36. Okay. Yeah. Okay, the thing is, yeah, when you
sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where? Oh, for Pete's, who the?
What's going on?
Why does everyone call while I'm in the middle of a live stream? Hold on, sorry. You want to talk for a second?
Yeah, I can talk for a minute there. So this is Clive's show. I'm merely the sidekick. I'm trying to get Clive into this here because Clive's a great guy. We want Clive to be the focus of your attention. Clive is the man. The man. We want Clive. This is Clive's show. So I'm just going to put a few postings on some of the Facebook groups, if you like. Is that okay?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Also, if anyone wants anything they want brought up and talked about immediately, how's a way for them to do that?
Super chat.
And the super chat button, if you're on a computer, if you go under the text box, there's a smiley face to do an icon on live stream, and a box with a $sign. That's for super chat. If you hit the button, you will not be given the option of soup or chatting. It's super, S-U-P-E-R, chat.
Talk to me, Clive.
Though if it gave you soup, that would be pretty awesome too.
Yes, that would be very awesome.
Hey,
Clive.
Quick question. Okay, like I said, spending the first full day with the Mark 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish it was a Mark 5 because then I could be making Speed Racer jokes. But unfortunately, it's not the Mark 5. But boy, I have to admit, I love the way Omega does. Omega does this. You want to talk about nice, clear, high visibility? You know, this is even though I've got the Zenith Defy, which is massive, this is about the only chronograph I have where I have zero problems reading the dials, reading any of the dials. It's just like, okay, okay, you fine, Omega, I understand now. But the other question is that what do you think I could use as a replacement strap or a bracelet?
Oh, actually, if it's anything like the Mark II,
20 millimeter.
No. It's the location of the holes on the watch, where if you took that bracelet off, it's very hard on the Mark II. So I had the Speedmaster Mark II, right?
Right.
It's very hard. Yeah, no. It's not the fact that it's 20 mil. That's fine, but it's the location of the actual holes itself. It's very hard to fit that on a leather NATO. I don't know why. Can I tell you what's happening with Rolex lately? These are these newer version sports Rolexes.
Right.
I'm talking ceramic. I'm talking 39 mil Explorer 1. They've moved the positioning of the holes so that, yes, the bracelet fits nicely, but it's very hard to fit NATOs and leather straps on it. Does that make sense? I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know why Rolex used to be very, I
I have an operative theory why they're doing it.
It's to stop you doing it. But I mean, I don't understand why they would. It's
because they don't want you buying other people's straps. They want you to buy their straps.
Well, it's not even a strap; it's a bracelet. You take the bracelet off and you put on a NATO. You know, I love a NATO on a But I got to tell you that watch you've got there, if it's anything like the Mark II, they're an absolute bastard to fit another strap to. They are really, really, really hard. Okay.
No, yeah, it's got the hidden lugs, and it looks like it's a pretty tight fit in there. So maybe just okay. Bobby Harrington says, "Don't fuck up this flipper. It's not a flipper. It's a keeper. That's why I want to pin it."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and Tanzil, sorry. And Tanzil, actually, I forgot. Tanzil actually got himself a really nice watch, and I forgot what it was, for Pete's sake. Wear an Orient Ray or take an intimate cranberry sauce bath with Federico. I'm not sure what an Orient Ray is, but I think I would rather wear it. Especially when he calls it an intimate cranberry sauce bath.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay, Tanzil actually got a PAM 5.
Do you like the PAM 5?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. It's the it's got the logo. It's like the base logo, except it has the second hand at the 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Clive, you sent me some scam school. We're going to do scam school.
Also, MMX2 is asking for watch advice over here. MMX2, you get what you pay for. So super chat that question, MMX2, and we'll answer it. Yeah, so let's go over those real quick. Now, keep in mind that it's not going to be very challenging at all compared to last night. These ones are fairly obvious, but it's still stuff that you have to be aware of, and look at when you're buying stuff on from individuals on Craigslist.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Clive, this is not how you've done sent me the link. Is not so. Oh, sorry, I can see it now. Just hang on, just bear with me.
Not a problem.
You. I've got the link. Okay, just bear with me. So let's have a look here, Clive. Let's get the first one up here because this is Scam School. We need to do an intro, Clive. You need to do a sexy voiceover.
I can't really do a sexy voiceover except for just my voice. That's probably sexy enough.
Okay, here we go. So tell me what we have here, Clive.
Well, boy, here we go. Here is a NATO. Here's a Rolex Submariner Hulk, 2016. Fat box papers, 100% authentic. Only been worn a few times. Has a few scratches on the bezel, however. Watch is in great condition and perfectly fine. Reference number 16610, serial F47. Now, okay, a couple of things you have to keep in mind. They're only asking $3,000.
The other thing is this is a Kermit which has been replaced by the Hulk. This is a Kermit, right, isn't it?
Right, and yes, and the dial is black. You're right. It is I'd stand corrected. It's a Kermit. It's not a Hulk. And they weren't making the Kermit in 2016. Number one.
No.
So also no reply below. So they have just a generic email address inside. You can't even not even the click box. Yeah, it's a scam at the price. So, and I don't know what this is a time wasting moron, because if you're going to do something like this, keep a couple things in mind. Always cash. Always meet them at a jeweler, an authorized dealer. Never give any details.
Yeah, and I'll actually contact him, Clyde. What do you reckon? I'll contact him.
You can. I've contacted him. No response.
Yeah. No response.
But go right ahead. No response.
Okay.
Now, of course, you wonder, the little bit of doubt is Lawton is the home of Fort Sill, the field artillery post. Maybe this is some enlisted person maybe it's some enlisted person that's trying to hawk a couple of bucks off a watch. But yeah, and I love the Kermit's bezel too. Okay. Tanzil, sorry. Does Archie get this extensive? I think you mean intensive. In inspecting before getting scammed and taking Ladyboy home on Sukhumvit Road in Bangors.
How's this? I'm just writing a email here. Hello, keen to buy your watch. How can I pay you immediately? Is PayPal okay? Can you ship to me next week, as I am on holidays for a few days? Happy to pay now, and I would be pleased if you can ship next week. Okay.
Really need this shipped by Boxing Day.
I'll just leave it like that. We'll see what happens, Clive.
Oh, what'll happen is that you're beginning back. It's just a dead ad. I think someone's wanting to spam a buddy's mailbox. Okay.
Why do you say that? Why do you say someone's trying to spam a buddy's mailbox?
Because why else put an ad up like that? Why else put an ad up like that? Not even, because you can always say when you set up a Craigslist ad, you can choose a randomized email address, or you can say, call on this number only, text this number only, or send to this email.
Okay, sorry, you're talking super chat. Keep going, Clive.
Anyway, super chat, Tanzil, sorry, $5 Canadian. Does Archie get this extensive in inspecting the goods before getting scammed and taking Ladyboy home on Sukhumvit Road in Bangors?
Well, no. I normally, it's just a hand on the situation. You do a bit of due diligence, bit of discovery, and yeah, you got to be very careful with what you do.
Okay. Also, I think another good way to take care of that is to pull that $5 bill and say, I'll show you my cock if you show me yours. And if she pulls her cock out, it's probably the best $5 you've ever lost.
Very good point there. Very good point. Clive, thank you for that scam school. You've also sent me another one. Should we do the next one now?
We can do another one. This one is the bane of my existence.
Okay.
And this one is this asshole, I probably need to report to the authorities.
Why do you say that, Clive?
Because he is always pulling this same game. I've actually have his number saved under my as Craigslist scammer, because there's 2 or 3 different names. It's always the same phone number.
Oh, I
see. Here we
go.
Oklahoma City, a Batman.
Wow.
New.
Batman.
Batman for $5,000. Rolex GMT Master 2 16710 BLNR Batman. I even imagine him saying like you do. Black blue ceramic bezel watch. Watches new with everything, box, papers, etc. There is no damages. May not be able to meet depending on some locations. Not looking to trade, looking to sell. Contact me if interested. Payment must be by PayPal. No checks.
Is PayPal offer some security or not really?
No, because it always offers security if they send it as an invoice. And you have to look and see the terms of that invoice. I've tried to play with this asshole before, and he sent me just this half-ass, and like, no, send me a better invoice. Just fucking with him. I wanted to see. You don't. Never, ever buy PayPal. Like I said, you don't offer PayPal if you're not a scammer, if you're trying to buy. You don't offer PayPal if you're a seller, because you have no intention of shipping the goods. I've even tried to say, okay, tell you what, meet me there. I'll have my phone with my PayPal, and I'll PayPal you right there.
And what did he say? What does he say to that?
After the piece is authenticated, won't do it.
What does he say?
No, well, I can't really meet right there, or it always throws up a bunch of BS.
Now, Clive, I'm just going to take a break. I want you to take over the show because this is your show. I'm going to take a break for a minute.
Can we bring someone on real quick?
You can bring anyone you want on.
Season's greeting. Merry Christmas, John. Let's bring on Rudy Dobson. I think he's in the comments.
He is in the comments?
Yes.
Okay. I can send him a link to the show if you want. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, please.
Okay, just give me one tick.
And that way we can chat and entertain ourselves.
Yeah, you
take your break.
Don't be too hard on the Breitling I've bought.
I won't be. No. Oh, by the way, do you know Christian? He himself, he has for his own personal use. He has a Breitling Heritage Super Ocean.
Is that right?
Yeah, he inherited it, and boy, I tell you what, that blue dial looks great. I love that. I love that in blue.
I've just sent that to Rudy, so if he comes on, he comes on.
All right, cool.
I'll just be away for a minute. Don't do anything to jeopardize my Google Ads. And
I can't do anything more than you've done already, actually. But yeah, I'll keep. Yes, awesome. I'm looking over at my screen. I've got my thing. It almost looks like I'm picking my nose.
Okay. I'll be back in a minute, Clive. I'll be back in a minute.
So anyway, Rudy, you've been sent the link. Also, Brisbane Watch Foreign. Also, FIST, the premier horological institute of Swiss timepieces, on Facebook. And also on Facebook, the Archie Luxury fan page, if you can't get your Archie fix online. Okay. And one of the bad things about live TV is nothing. Okay, Rudy, the link was, probably next time we do this, I need to probably ask for the login so I can kind of take the controls a little bit. So anyway, any possibility for the strap, guys, or another bracelet? Any suggestions? I'm willing to listen to them.
Okay.
Okay, no, actually, everyone's saying get Suckerhorn on. Well, guys, look. No dead air, Clive. Well, it's not dead air. I'm technically talking. Clive, I look like Mr. Burns' son. I've heard that before. I've heard John Candy before. I've heard John Goodman. Someone told me I look like Rex Tillerson recently, so I guess I'm getting older. So, yeah. Oh, Rivermatic. I found a Christmas. Okay. Tanzil Ansari. Is Federico fisting a turkey full of stuffing at the moment? No idea. No idea. Why does Archie keep buggering off and abandoning Clive? Again, no idea. So anyway, love the Omega. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. And it's just like there's some watches where you'll see them, you see pictures, you see everything else, and you kind of form an opinion. And sometimes you have to see it in the flesh. And I have to admit, yeah, it is a 4.5. It's one of the lower denizens. It's not one of the Grail pieces. But, if an opportunity comes up on a Speedmaster Professional, I think I might have to go for it just for the dial. The Air King?
You got a towel I can use, Mummy? A towel, which is a bit...
I also saw Uroki. And again, the $2 webcam. I'll have to buy a better webcam out of my share of the proceeds. New minty. I don't know if we can see the hologram sticker back there, but there is definitely a hologram sticker. So I don't even want to put this sucker on, really. And obviously 14000. Oh, there we go. Halfway seen it now. 1400M. Almost unsullied by human hands, or for that matter, ARCHIE'S. Well, thank you. Like I said, yeah, okay. I haven't decided yet. Vintage Rolex. I haven't decided yet. I'm wrestling a turd. Keep it on the bracelet. Okay. Yep. Bloody nice. Okay, Rudy. Seriously, dude. We talked about this. Yeah, the second one is a OP date. Two-tone. It's on a leather, but it is really it's one of those things. It's probably going to look like crap here. It seriously does not photograph well, but love this thing. I love it's a tiny version of the smooth gold of the two-tone with the smooth bezel date just obviously 34 millimeters. But here's one of the things about it though. It's actually legible. It's actually quite legible because of the size, or because of the contrast. White dial with gold hands. Crappy. Okay, well, I've got a decent internet connection, but also keep in mind I'm the unpaid volunteer, and I've got a MacBook with a it's a camera on a MacBook, and of course Macs never really did put the best cameras in their stuff. It might also have some vape on it, dude. Fluffy kitten, that was for you. All right. Is RG setting up his S&M gear? Well, okay. The person I thought was going to come on is not going to come on. Does that include the feed any or not? Too close, Clyde. Yeah, I know. No, you do not. Woody, New Yorker, you do not need a room tour. I don't know. I can only assume that maybe Mark Yusupov has maybe assassinated Rudy. It's been coming down to this, actually. It's the classic Jets versus Sharks. Patek versus AP. Classic duel. Yeah, Mr. Robert, yeah. Well, look, guys, I can't bring... No, Rudy's not Uberoki. Dude, no. Rudy's in like in England. Hey, Suckerhorn. Tap dancing like a monkey. And I'm trying to figure out how well we can see the tapestry dial, the linen dial on the date just. The bracelet on this thing is really, really good condition. Nice, minty. Whatever. It's one of the things I actually found. Okies, if we get a nice watch, we don't want to wear it. We wear it for special occasions. We'll wear it 2 or 3 times a year, and wear it 2 or 3 times a year. It gets stuck in the safety deposit box or gets stuck in the back of the drawer and it's never used. So, watch, talk, and confessions. I have no confessions, really. At least none I'm going to make on the internet. Now, Samundo, hey, how's it going? The smallest watch I've ever owned is that's an easy one. That is a 30 millimeter, and it's a military watch. It's an A11 made by Bulova. It was made in 1943 and has the silver case on it. Has a nice hacking mechanism on it. It was a Swiss mechanism made under contract by Bulova in America. And it's actually quite usable at 30 millimeters because it's super high contrast, super high visibility. Also, they didn't loom it up because it was, the A11 was meant to be. I can tell by the chair that Archie's coming back. Okay, Rolex combo. Well, the date, and like I said, the date just, boy, you know, it'd be hard to pick one from them because they're actually all really nice. Even, you know, I've never really liked the OP date before, but even the OP date is really nice. So, okay, that's Archie. Okay, so what's up with you?
Hello, I just got a response back. Hi, Paul. I'm sorry to say I just sold this to another guy. Where I got it from? I picked. Oh, he's doing. Okay. Here we go, Clive.
I just found it on this website.
Yes.
So click here.
Hi,
and you can
Paul. I'm sorry to say I sold it to another guy, but I won't hide where I got it from. I picked it up. I picked up 2 brand new ones for under $70 from qbidsbrand.com. It's easy to win. The trick is to bid. Counter hits 4 seconds. Best regards, Jessica. How's that?
Scam. Yep. Okay. And that. Okay. And that's the other. That's the other one. You see, that's too good to be true. So that was the $3,000.
Cool. It's actually. I've just typed that address in, clicked on that address, and the malicious content warning. We've blocked a website that may contain malicious content. So there you go. That's the scam. Aha. There you go. That's what he's doing. So he's got no.
And he's also pretending to be a woman. Well, that's a triple scam when you think about it.
Yes. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's fantastic news, isn't it?
How many times have you been scammed by a man pretending to be a woman, just out of curiosity?
Ha 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 ha. Very good, Clive.
So what are your plans for, let's see, tomorrow is, this is the Christmas Eve day in Australia, right?
Yeah, not much, Clive. Very, 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 very much, Clive. Not much. There is no lady folks. There is no women in.
Would you prefer to be the squire of a British-Italian YouTube watch guru? Okay, Tanzil, thank you for not saying the name. He who must not be named has not been named. Or add up Federico's fake subscribers on a Casio calculator watch. Well, okay, now let me take a guess before you do. My guess is that you would want to be the squire of a certain British-Italian YouTube watch guru. At least temporarily. Because you could get access to his house and completely destroy the bathroom.
Yeah, thank you, Clive. You've answered it. So, Clive, how is this show going? This is your show. Tell me, what is Rudy coming on? What happened to Rudy?
I don't think so. Actually, hold on. Okay, I need to close down this Anova app. Come on. I talked to him last night. He's like, I fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, I see.
Of course, in London right now it's midnight, so actually, and Rudy's actually older than I am. Oh well. So we've done a couple of episodes of Scam School. I kind of showed the punters, the 3 amigos. And like I said, I mean, you know, I have to admit, if the right Speedmaster Professional comes along, if the right Moon Watch comes along, I might have to make a move on it. That's actually one of the things I mean, at first I kind of thought the black and white dial of the Omega was sterile and lifeless and clinical, you know, almost like the horological equivalent of the inside of an Apple store. But yes. by God, this thing is legible. Most legible chronograph I've ever. You know, this might have to be the last one. If the shit really hits the fan, what is the last thing I will take off my wrist? It might be this one, actually. And you know the funny thing I've noticed?
What's that?
Well, I've got this ingrained. That was a Freudian slip if I ever heard one. I've got this ingrained prejudice that if a watch has a day and a date window, it's a lesser watch. Especially at the 3 o'clock position.
I see.
Because when you think about it, I've noticed that was actually one of the things. If it actually didn't have the day and the date at first, I think I would have liked it better. I would have warmed up to it immediately. But to me, that almost says Seiko, lower tier Seiko. That almost says lower tier watch.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do have that same prejudice. I must admit, when I saw your watch, and I didn't want to say anything to you, but I was thinking, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and because even the Speedman reduced in the title of it, not as good. It's the Amiga Speedmaster, not as good.
It's not a deluxe, is it? They don't call it a deluxe version, do they?
No, they call it, just like reduced. Reduced. Just like breasts, reductions are not good things.
No, you never ever want smaller. Like it's just like very few people want to be thinner. They want to be fatter, not thinner, don't they? Same sort of thing, isn't it?
No, well, kind of the opposite, but. Okay, Tanzil and Zari, $2. I think Tanzil's running out of money because the super chaps keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Of course, he also probably blew a lot of money on that PAM 5. Are ETA-based Orises, Hamiltons, and Breitlings shitters? Excellent question, Tanzil and Zari. Is an ETA-based Breitling a shitter?
I think it is. Actually, I don't think it is. I don't think the ETA movement makes it a shitter. If you had a Valjoux, tell me this, Clive. Like a Navi timer. Is that a shitter? Is a Navi timer a shitter? Like I know they've got the in-house movement available, but some of them have the 7750. Is that a shitter because it uses that movement?
Well, it depends on the movement and how well it was regulated and how well it was finished. I mean, actually, when a lot of Speedmaster experts think that the 4s, the 4.5s, and the 5s with the Valjoux automatic movement, the Lamagna 5100 is actually a better chronograph per se than the manually wound earlier Speedmasters or the Moonwatches. But it's funny though. I mean, does anyone else have that? You say a window with the day and the date together at the 3 o'clock, and you think,
yeah, you're right. It's so right. It's Seiko days. It's the Seiko. It's from the Seikos where you had the day and the date. Whereas nothing's really wrong with it, is it? Really?
No, but it's almost we're ingrained to think lower tier or lower quality watch, which I think is interesting. All right. Simon, it must be stressful to get a call from the middle of the night and the person on the other side is live on YouTube. No, that's not Simon. That's Rudy.
What's Rudy?
I don't have Simon. No, Rudy, I couldn't reach him. I talked to him yesterday. I thought he was going to come on yesterday. Hey, Simondo, let's ask Simon Crane on.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait. Be right back.
Where are you going, Clive? I don't know what Clive's doing. He's supposed to be hosting the show today, and he's taking breaks. What's going on? Can you just turn around so we can see the weight loss, if you don't mind? Yes. Thank you. Very, very... You're losing weight, Clive. I can see it.
Well, thanks. If Simon's coming on, I want him to feel comfortable.
Yes.
When in Rome,
Simon
okay, Simon,
Crane.
come on with us.
Is he going to come on? Do you have his email address? I don't know if I got his Facebook.
You want to pin a link for it? You want to pin a link in the
Facebook chat thing, you know?
Right. You know, yeah. You could put a Playboy, you know, smoking robe. Can't you put the link on in the live stream? Okay. Call siboy30@aol.com.
Sorry, it's what's his email address?
No. Sierra India Boy BOY 30 at AOL. Do they still have AOL? Does AOL mean something different in Britain than it does here?
That's SIBOY 30. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes. I spell Sierra India Bravo Oscar Yankee Tree 0 over.
Tree.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
6,
it's just that
7,
American
8,
accent. I
9.
can't understand you. With that American accent, I can't understand you at times.
That's actually that's Army. That's Army phonetics. That's how you're supposed to say it. Everyone's supposed to say it the same way. So a Yankee can talk to some hick from Birmingham.
Oh, I see. Okay, I've just sent that to Simon. I'd like to see Simon. He's
nice. Mike's like, Roger that, Clive. Awesome. Always nice seeing other. Well, I don't want to say I'm a veteran. I was just a reservist. I didn't do wartime. I tried to go to the first brouhaha in the desert. The second one, hell no. But you know, I did some time in the reserves, and that's about it. You know, it's not like I'm one of those people that did a few weekends and think I'm Audie Murphy or anything. I went, did my time, and I had fun. Couldn't ask for more than that. And occasionally I get to shoot a howitzer or two. But mostly it was their fault filling work that no one wanted to fuck with. No, okay, Rivermatic, that's not Big Ben, that's the Eiffel Tower. River, please tell me you're not an American. 4. Well, yeah. Fowler? No, 4. Whiskey, yeah. Alpha Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Frank, or no, sorry, Foxtrot. Golf.
It didn't
Hotel.
go there. What's happened? So what's going on? What's going on?
No, we're you know 5. Anyway,
Is he coming on? Is he coming on?
Well, he sent us the email. He sent us the email link. So here we go.
Wow, he's here. Simondo.
Simon, so how are you doing, Paul? Okay, Clive. Good afternoon to you. Paul,
Good morning. Thanks,
Simon.
Oh dear, how about yes?
Honored to have you here.
I wanted to honor your presence by dressing appropriately.
I can see that. Thank you very. I've actually got that dressing gown.
I wanted to ask you something.
This is the comfiest freaking dressing gown that I've ever had. So yeah,
they are. I've got exactly that one.
But my daughter would
Simon.
just like it. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, we'll quit talking about our kids.
Simon.
Go ahead.
Simon,
Paul.
I wanted to ask you
Yes.
something. I'm buying a Breitling Super Ocean.
Heritage.
Did I make a mistake? Heritage. Do you think I'm making a big mistake? Tell me
With
the
the white
truth.
guy.
Not my cup of tea. I must admit, I wouldn't have one.
Oh,
With the
that's
white
right.
guy.
Yeah, that's
Because
just
you're
me.
a sub guy, aren't you? That's right.
I'm-
You're a
I'm-
sub guy.
A Rolex wearing, you know what? That's it.
Wanker?
Oh yes. Oh, there's the Google ads gone.
No, that's fantastic. So you didn't particularly like the sub I'm getting. What did you think? Tell me. You didn't like
The
it?
sub you're getting?
I thought it would be the Breitling I'm getting. I thought you guys would you of all people would be saying, hey, it's great to see you trying a different watch. It's got the sexy shark.
Well, yeah, I know. Brightling's a little bit of a step down for you, Paul, is it not? Let's be fair. I mean, you know, you're a regular Ultraman.
I've still got those, but I actually I wanted one of these. I wanted a Super Ocean Heritage. I really did want this Heritage. This is a watch I actually wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you surprised me. I must admit, Paul, your standards are slipping. I'm afraid your standards are slipping.
You know how dear Rolex is now? Rolex is dear, don't you think?
Huh, this thing is
actually... Yeah.
So, Simon...
They're reassuringly expensive now.
How are you going with your collection? Have you stopped making videos on YouTube? What's happened with your channel? Channel update.
Channel update is exactly the same as the last time I spoke to you, which was your birthday in October.
Yes.
And that is... I've done... I think since then I've done one live stream with M3AU. I may have another live stream coming up later this week. I might be doing a live stream with Guido and a couple of others. I've got a few sort of old subscribers that have shown interest in coming on a live stream with me.
Are you sick of watches, Simon? Are you sick of watches?
I'm sick. I'm content with where I am right now.
How could you please mention the collection? What is the collection now?
The collection is an Orient Mako, which is my shitter, which doesn't get worn very much. The Rolex Submariner and the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Grape Dial. And that's my collection. That's what I've got. That's me, and I'm happy with that. And my journey is complete.
You don't think you need a Speedmaster in there?
Oh, God, no. Hang on. Oh, sorry. I've just been told to answer. Somebody's demanded that I answer the super chat. No, a Speedmaster, a friend of mine's got a Speedmaster. I must admit, if I was to get another watch, I would perhaps get rid of the Grape Dial and swap it out for, say, a Panerai or something like that.
Wow.
Would you get rid of the Oyster Perpetual and buy a Breitling Super Ocean Heritage?
No.
I didn't think so. Now, of the Super Ocean, are you familiar at all with the Heritage Super Ocean series?
Yes, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
What do you think is the least attractive dial option for that?
The Heritage Super Ocean. The least attractive one, probably the white dial.
Yep. Okay. That's what I thought. As usual. And of course, British, and as we all know, British people have tastes and shit like that in class.
Could I just quickly ask, I'll answer Tanzil's super chat question. He has asked, if I designed a watch, slapped an ETA movement in it, named it the Simon Crane Welsh Super River, Welsh? And charged 5K for it, would be a luxury watch? No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Anything with my name on it wouldn't be a luxury watch. That watch that he's got up now, for me, I've got a friend of mine that's got a Christopher Ward, and that looks like a Christopher Ward.
Simon, I've been a bit depressed lately. I've been addicted to UK television. Okay.
Oh fucking dear! Sorry.
I've been watching.
Go on.
Can't pay. We'll take it away.
Right.
That's about High Court bailiffs. Okay, we've got a live writ. It's live. We're looking at payment or removal of goods. Is that really true? Do you have High Court bailiffs who come around taking people's possessions?
Yes, but it happens less. It happens less now. It's actually the line of work that my brother's in. My brother is in Scotland, what we call a sheriff officer. And they used to do that. They literally used to go around to people's houses and say, well, you owe, £6,000. So, we're going to take your car, but we're going to value your £25,000 BMW at the $6,000 that you owe. And so people used to absolutely flip their shit. He said it was great. So no, they don't do that in Scotland so much anymore. I think they changed the law in Scotland. But in England, they do still do it. I mean, they'll literally walk into your house and say, well, we're going to take your 56-inch widescreen Sony television because we're valuing it at like £300, where it's actually worth a couple of grand.
Yes.
But
and they
not
also,
so much in Scotland. They don't.
if you have a parking fine, they send it to a £55 parking fine can come after they add fees and charges to about £500, £600.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Is
They
that
can
how
just go
England
on
is?
and
Is
on
it
and
that
on.
nasty or
And,
not?
Well, they like you to pay your fines, put it that way. But no, it's like, listen, it's like everything else. If you leave these things to sort of add up and just refuse to pay it, they will put it out to a debt recovery service, and the debt recovery service will, of course, put their fees on. And then every time they come and knock at your door and you don't answer, it's they're putting another £90 sort of pound, probably put another £90-100 on to come back again.
Yes.
So no, a nasty business, a nasty business, as you say. Yeah, and that's it. These things definitely do add up and keep
warn the poor.
Keep building up.
Have you ever had bailiffs come to your house, or any friends where the bailiffs have turned up?
I know people that have them come to my door. They've never come to my door, I must admit. Yeah. But then again, I've always paid my bills.
Yeah,
you also have a very large collection of very sharp knives, being a butcher.
Well, there's that as well. But it's not the collection of sharp knives; it's the knowing how to use them.
So tell me this: is bailiffs?
Sorry, Paul, go on.
Is that a common thing? Bailiffs turn up and seize goods.
1 minute.
It can be, yes.
It's not. Yeah, it's not massively common. It's not the sort of thing that happens. Well, I don't know. I mean,
and I can't believe this. You people in England have a TV license. You got to have a TV license. Clive.
Yes, that's for the BBC.
Yes,
that's
free to air TV in England. They got to have a TV license. £145 a year you pay for a TV license.
Yes, I watched The Young Ones when I was a kid. I'm aware of it.
I love that show. I can't believe you'd be hip enough to watch that.
Oh, God, yeah. It was all over MTV. Vivian, Neil, Rick, and...
Vivian, Real, Nick, and Mike.
Mike, the cool guy. Yes.
Yeah, super cool. Yes.
That's Mike, the cool guy.
I still think that's one of the funniest shows ever made.
Alexi Sale was on there too.
Scrum.
Sorry, what?
I just said that Tanzil has asked me about would I prefer to be in a rugby scrum under Archie with a Rolex, or would you prefer to be an upscale Yorkshire gent, squally in hand? I'd rather be in the rugby scrum, quite frankly, with Archie. I'd rather have my head in rounded about Archie's thighs.
I just can't believe this. In England,
no, the young ones. The young ones was great.
Yeah, and Alexi Sale was in it too. A couple of them, you know that?
No, he was in all
of them.
Yeah, he was a supporting player.
I see. That was.
Well, he played the landlord, Mr.
Blofsky. Yeah. Also, yeah. Actually, all sorts of the Blofsky family, I think.
That's right. That's right. Played the Blofsky family.
That was nearly 30 years ago now.
It was 30 years ago. It was over 30 years ago. That was 1980, 81, 82. And I can always remember we had an old critique at the time called Mary Whitehouse, and she'd be on the TV absolutely aghast because this show was on the television, just standing there clutching her pearls at this show because they used profanities. They say bugger and dare I say, whisper the word bastard. And this was disgusting, and children shouldn't be allowed to watch this. And children should be watching, good, clean fun like Jimmy Savile and It's a Knockout with Stuart Hall. Sort of the serial rapists of the day.
Saunders and French made a couple of guest appearances.
French and Sons, they were part of that same genre. Tell you who else was in it as well was Stephen Fry and his ex sort of
Laurie,
comedy chum Hugh Laurie that played Dr. House. Yeah, he was
and
quite a lot. Ben Elton.
Ben Elton, but who was the God? He was also on not necessarily the 9 o'clock news, and he was the announcer on University Challenge.
Griff Rhys-Jones.
Thank you.
That's who that was.
I still think that
Jones.
was in that episode, the University Challenge. I think that was still one of the funniest moments, just in general, that I've ever meant to watch.
I'll tell you who. Remember in that episode, the other 4 contestants were Ben Elton, Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie, and Emma Thompson. Yeah,
yes.
Who then become a quite a big sort of holiday. Well, Nanny McPhee, Emma Thompson. She was the other one. So they were all in and around that scene in the early 80s. And of course, not 9 o'clock news was Griffiths Jones, was Mel Smith, Griffiths Jones, Rowan Atkinson, and Billy Connolly's wife, Pamela Stevenson.
Oh yeah, that's where she met him, I believe. Anyway,
it was.
Simon. So with your watches,
yes.
You've had a bit of a journey there. So that's it. You're really happy. The grape dial.
Yeah, I'm done. Yep,
you're done. That's it.
I'm done, mate. I am absolutely done. Unless, as I say, unless something comes up that I really, really like, that would force me to flip the grape dial. Apart from that, I'm quite happy with what I've got, and I'm blissfully. I certainly don't think about. I certainly don't think about. Sorry, I've got another question now, but I certainly don't think. I don't pain myself in thinking about buying another watch. I know some guys that are in agony day in, day out, pondering what to buy next. I'm not in that position anymore. I think a Submariner or a GMT does that for you. You get a decent Rolex and that's it. You just, you're content. The content is there. Sorry, I'm going to quickly read out a super chat question aimed towards me. This guy seems to certainly throw the money around. It's the 3rd super chat question, Arch.
They like you.
When you are buttering up crumpets and scones, watching Chelsea beat Man City or United, do you ever contemplate what FP Jean is doing at the moment?
No.
What sort of question is that? When I'm buttering up scones, watching Chelsea beat one of the Manchester teams, do you ever contemplate what FP Jean is doing? What? What? No, I don't give FP Jean a bloody thought, especially not when I'm watching the football. By the way, Chelsea will be doing well to beat Man City this year, because it looks like Manchester City are absolutely going to run away with the league. So I might not have answered your question there, but it was a silly question.
Simon, I wanted to ask you something. You don't hate. Okay, you've told me gave me a non-approval on the Breitling. Fair enough. Nice 2 tones there, Clive. That suits you. I wanted to ask you, Simon. You still do approve of the IWC Ingenua and the Breguet, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, IWC is not Rolex. It's an okay watch. I tried one on once. It's a nice enough watch. I'd approve of that, I think, over the Breitling, as long as you've got a good deal on it.
Yeah, and the overpolished Breguet that with the bracelet looks like a woman's jewelry bracelet, basically.
Well,
I love that watch. That's my Christmas Day watch.
Developed. What do I think about? Sorry, I've just been asked what I think about Prince Harry's new girlfriend. She's a stunner in my book. Well, I suppose. I mean, as the saying goes, the royals always have an heir and a spare. Prince Harry's the spare. So basically, who he marries is not that important.
Right.
As long as the heir to the throne marries, the quintessential English rose, that's the sort of most important thing. Harry can go and do what he likes. In fact, you know what? I mean, I must say about Harry.
He's done what he likes, hasn't he? When you think about it, Hitler, Nazis.
I think if I could be controversial, I don't mean to be disrespectful to the Americans.
Go ahead.
And I certainly don't want to be, but I don't want to be disrespectful. Can Harry? I think Prince Harry, who's probably the most eligible bachelor in the world, can do better than a
divorced.
Basically a divorced woman.
Second-hand
goods, essentially. I think he could have any woman that he wants. I mean, he's somebody. And let's be fair, right? There's going to be dirt dug up on Meghan Markle. There's going to be dirt dug up on her. And, you know, you can imagine he's probably the royal household's PR department's probably had to pay a few people off to be quiet, you know, about her. She's certainly going to be, probably had a more controversial past than Kate, than the Duchess of Cambridge. But there you are. So, you know, he can marry who he wants, really. It's not that important. But she's, what's wrong with a divorced woman? You know, I'm just, listen, this is the sort of one of the princes of the royal household. They have standards to maintain, I'm afraid. But he's following in his father's footsteps in marrying a divorced woman. But there you go. So,
well, right, and
hang on, look.
Simon, will any British,
Yep.
Italian YouTube shitter salesman gentry be invited to the royal wedding, or is the pontiff still head of the horological church?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, did they have toilet attendants at the royal wedding? That would be my only thought there. But, you know, if there was a toilet attendant definitely needed, then he may get the nod in that direction. But I very much doubt it. I mean, let's be fair, the person we're talking about is as much gentry as I'm trying to think now who would be. Well, let's put it this way. I mean, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children will be a lot closer to the throne than what a certain person is to actually being gentry. But that's all been debunked about the gentry thing anyway. It's all on his wrong side. You know, it was one of them, you know, my mother's sister's cousin's uncle, you know, was once spoke to the Queen Mother, kind of gentry, if you catch my drift. It's not like it's not like my dad's a duke or a count or something like that. You know, we're in mother's sister's uncle's cousin's territory here.
Yes. Yes, that's very true.
And
very true.
I tell you what, though, what a collection of great grandfathers he's got. This is my great, you know, he's every great grandfather the guy had is some sort of war hero, or, you know, has done this or has invented the wheel, or one of them sort of things. And sorry, I'm just catching up on the tube again. No comparison to Charles Horseface woman. Come on, yeah. It's in all fairness, Meghan Markle's a lot better looking than Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, who looks. Camilla, Prince Charles's wife, her and Princess Anne. Billy Connolly once said they both look like a horse is shat in their handbag.
Did I ever tell you my roommate once interviewed Prince Charles?
Is that right?
Your roommate did what? Sorry?
My roommate interviewed Prince Charles.
Oh, yeah.
How did he find him?
Well, he was actually going into Pittsburgh, where I was an undergrad at the time, to attend some sort of regional conference. And he's like, I got to meet Prince. Oh, and by the way, the guy's name is Val W. Fennell, Colonel, Air Force Medical Corps, retired. And so, yeah. So what happened in undergrad, we Paladin Press, and we were getting all these fake, completely bogus bullshit IDs, like saying we're everything. So, as a matter of fact, we were like freshmen, and we went in, and Val pulls out can I see your ID? So he pulls out a ID and whips it on the table, and we're looking at the ID and saying, oh my Jesus. The ID he pulled out was registered mercenary.
I see.
The clerk shrugs, takes the money and hands us the beer, and when we run back for the car. But he actually had bogus ID saying that he was press. So he got to interview Prince Charles using a completely bogus. I mean, even back then, we kind of thought there's no way anyone's going to believe this. But apparently the prince's security thought it was good enough, or they didn't give a shit. And you know, he's got that tape. I know he's still got that tape around somewhere. Hey, Val, give me a call if you still have that tape. You've got the number. Or,
and how did he find Prince? How did he find the prince? Was he a nice guy or what?
Yeah, he was perfectly nice, and he played it completely straight, and just asked some serious questions. And you know, basically, how do you think places like Pittsburgh can adjust to a post-industrial manufacturing base? And he just gave a completely serious answer back. Clive listen. Okay. Also, Simon Tanzil, sorry. Simon, if you were having Cornish cream tea or the Brisbane equivalent, Brisbane Vegemite and toast, is an Orient Ray 2 diver fit for the occasion?
I have a deep love of Orient divers, so yes.
Oh,
yes, so definitely an Orient diver would be. Yeah, it's my favourite shitter, the Orient brand. I must admit, it's my favourite shitter.
Oh,
Vegemite and toast. Ooh.
What do you think of mine?
Very nice. It does actually, I have to say, and don't take this the wrong way. A friend of mine, a friend of the community, a guy called Lord David. He was in Sri Lanka on holiday. He was in Sri Lanka on holiday, and they actually bought me back a watch that looked exactly like that. It was, I swear to God, the strap was made out of cardboard, and I said, "How much that cost you?" I think we worked the price out at like £7, which would be about $10. Sorry, I'm being asked another question by Danziel has asked, "Do you have a love of Cornish cream tea?" Not really, no. I'm afraid.
Oh, did he slip another one? No, he was wondering if you were having Cornish cream tea, if a Orient diver would be appropriate for the occasion.
He did, but he's just asked a question in the without using super chat as well, which is fair enough because I think he's actually donated quite enough tonight. In all fairness,
Archie might disagree with you.
Oh, of course he would. Of course he would, because he doesn't do shit for free, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Do you prefer Rolex or Pook? Pook. What on earth is Pook?
Patek, I think, is probably one he's without even okay.
Ah.
Oh, Clyde, do I prefer Rolex or Pook?
Clive, have you lost weight? Is the room getting bigger? Have you lost weight? Oh dear. No, the room's getting bigger.
Red sub, Clive, does Uberoki not have adequate stocks? Well, no, actually right now, even the, like I said, we have no steel stunners. We have no steel sports models here, even in the flyover states, even here in the oil patch. And as for whether I'm not sure what a Pooks is, but I would probably say Rolex if I had to guess. You know, just call it a hunch, if you will.
Sorry, I was answering it. I wasn't looking at the screen there, Clyde. I was answering the chat. Oh, Christ, Clyde, don't do that. Clyde, right there, you look like we're holding them 3 watches up. You look like a Del Boy sort of second-hand salesman. Do anybody want to buy a watch? You're like the looky man on the beach in Mallorca. Oh God, where's Archie gone again? Is he away?
I'm here.
Oh, he's there. He's still there.
I'm just letting you guys have a chat. This is Clive's show today.
That's fine.
Simon, are you going to buy anything next year? Are you going to buy any watches next year? Tell me this.
No, as I say, I mean, unless I see something that makes me want to flip the
What about the Jaeger-LeCoultre? You were really keen about a Jaeger-LeCoultre at one stage. Remember? The Reverso. Clive's got a Reverso.
I still am. I know, so do you. I do like it, Archie, but here's the thing. I dug the grape dial out a couple of weeks ago and slung it on a day off. And I took it off, left it on the worktop, left it just sitting on the sideboard above where the drawer is that I keep it.
Yeah.
And my wife decided she just picked it up and swept it. She literally just swept it in the drawer, just clonked.
Oh, shit.
It fell in the drawer one day, right? Now, that's okay. With a grape dial, you look at that and think, you find it face down in the drawer and you think, that'll be all right. It's a Rolex. Could you imagine if she'd done that with a Reverso? I'd be taking it back to the shop and saying, you need to send that back to the blooming factory and get it fixed. That's the problem with the Reverso. Even wearing it in my house would be hazardous for it, especially with my wife and her in her push on for putting things, tidying things away, i.e. just by sweeping it in a drawer, and my daughter would pick it up. I found my daughter wearing my watch once, which was an odd occasion, considering she was wearing it on her ankle and walking around with this watch on her ankle. So no, I might maybe get the Reverso one day, but it's my lifestyle would have to change. Tanzil's asking, Archie, how much would Fluffy Kitten need to super chat to get you to spread Vegemite onto Simon Crane's while taking part? Oh God, we're taking part in Invicta, and if I'd let him spread it on me if I was getting paid to do an advert, as long as the payment was more than, I don't know, you know, as long as I was getting more than a couple of grand. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could spread Vegemite on me if you want for a couple of grand. I'm easy.
Well, it depends where they're spreading the Vegemite too. I mean,
I must say, Clive is, you love your Reverso, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do.
I'm not
Simon,
surprised.
I think you should get one.
They are nice watches. It's funny. I was having a chat the other day. Here's an interesting question. A horological question for you. I'm in a small Facebook group. Okay, load of British guys. Say a load. There's about 20 of us, and a lot of these guys are at the same point in their collecting career. They have, like me, they've got a couple of Rolexes, right? And they all look to an alternative brand for a third watch. Half these guys, about three or four of them have got Zenith El Primeros. The others have got Panerais as like a third watch.
Yes.
But there's a distinct character difference in the men that have the Zeniths and the men that have the Panerais. And I have to say that, and you know, people might hate me for saying this, but definitely alpha males definitely plumb, the more outgoing sort of alpha type males definitely would take a Panerai over a Zenith. Looking at the guys that have the Zeniths, they are the more sort of quiet and understated. You could almost call them beta males. Whereas the sort of larger than life, self-employed guys who are big characters all have Panerais. What's your thoughts on that one then? Would you reckon there's a definite, you know, could you correlate character traits?
It's like all the geezers. A geezer named Trev who runs a plumbing supply business. He wears an Avenger, a Breitling, or a Chronomat. You know, brightly polished, blingy, shiny. I definitely agree with you there. It's funny. It's
Super chat. Holdor F33. Arch, here's some $5 for some oil for that chair. Do us all a favor. Do us all a favor for fuck's sake. Also, are you ignoring $2 super chats now? Well,
no.
Holdor, the only way to determine that is to super chat Archie $2 and to see if he'll ignore it or not.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I gotta say, in all honesty, there, you know, I gotta say, I think it's true. Certain watches do have characteristics. It's very true. Like most, Rolex people tend to be. I don't mean to say this. These are Rolex people I've seen in the wild. They seem to have a bit of an ego problem. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of Rolex people aren't necessarily watch people, though.
I think you get a lot of like
buy Rolex because it's a Rolex and don't.
Yes. Like I remember I said, "Oh, nice Submariner." He goes, "No, it's a Rolex." That's the sort of person who buys a.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Mercedes-Benz. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a car enthusiast. It just means you bought the brand. But I would have to say the geezers, big Breitlings are a geezer's watch. They don't really care about the movement. They want something highly polished, shiny, and blingy, don't they? Big, shiny, blingy.
Geezers care about movements. Yeah. Oh, trust me. The older you are, the more important.
No. In the UK, geezer is a different thing. Did you ever watch Minder?
I know.
It's a geezer. Geezer. Terry was a geezer. A geezer. You're talking about old geezers. That's different geese. Okay, it's a different geezers in England are like your what are they? Working class lads. Okay, they're kind of rednecks in an English context. Okay.
Yeah, you could say.
Geezer. Who's this geezer? This geezer. It's Cockney. It's Cockney for a kind of a working class, kind of a little bit thuggish.
Archie, there's no Cockneys anymore. Cockneys are dead, mate. There's no Cockneys anymore. London's full of. London is now majority. Well, let's put it this way: British people are now in a minority in London.
The most common name in London is Muhammad.
Yep, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But rather worryingly so. But there you go.
But I got to tell you, Simon, I think certain watches do appeal. People who know nothing about watches do tend to buy. Look, people who know nothing, like Breitling. I got to tell you, even though I love Breitling, I think Breitling is kind of a geezer's watch.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
And
I mean, someone that knows the least about Breitling would probably be at the white dial.
Well, I bought it because it was cheap. I bought it because it was cheap. You understand?
Isn't that a geezer trait?
Yeah,
both are geezers.
I gotta say, look. The Heritage is a much classier version than the Super Ocean steel fish I had. That was very much like a kid's. I made a video like it was like a Super Kings set from Matchbox. You know the Super Kings.
I know a.
Arnold Linux says Cockneys have moved to Essex.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But I got to say, these geezers. So tell me this: how many watches do you think it's feasible to have? I mean, between you and me, if you're a married man, to have 2 Rolexes is a bloody big achievement, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I'm happy with that.
Expensive. That's a lot of pounds, isn't it?
I think no more than 4. I'd say no more than 4 watches.
Speaking of a lot of
anything more than.
Speaking of a lot of pounds. Speaking of a lot of pounds, how's the weight loss going, Archie?
Not so good. I've been eating a lot of vegetables.
That's good. You should be dropping all sorts of weight, eating vegetables.
I think it's the. I'm going to reboot this program. I just had ice cream yesterday. The kids wanted. It was my son's birthday. It's a long story. Okay,
ice cream is not going to make a difference. I mean, and ice cream. Did you eat the whole cake in the car on the drive over? Did you show the kid the box and put the candles on the box?
No, he had that ice cream cake was damn expensive. I got to tell you this,
right.
Simon.
Anyway, going back to the topic of who ate the ice cream cake.
Yes, Simon. Are you getting out of butchering? Are you going to do something else? Why don't you do something gourmet? I reckon you're a very good gourmet. Why don't you do gourmet? Instead of being the cheapest butcher, why don't you become a luxury butcher, like an expensive butcher? Could you do that, Simon? Like really expensive cuts of meat?
Super chat. Simon, do you consider Paul Thorpe and David Khalil to be your mentors in the British watch game? Her Majesty's horological gurus.
I'm not a guru. Listen, with Thorpe and Co., I couldn't lace their boots. They've forgotten more than what I know. Mentors, I've never spoken to them, so how can they be my mentor? But no, these people are the real people. They're the real, experts.
He's had a shooter. He's had a shooter put in his mouth. He's had shooters. He's had men with guns. Paul Thorpe had someone with shooters turn up.
I thought guns were outlawed in Britain.
I know he did, but when he was making videos a few years ago on his Items of Beauty channel, about his shop that he had in East Grimstead. I mean, he was making videos for that channel, flashing the big fucking AP Royal Oak that he wore every day, and it was that got stolen off of his wrist. That's what you get for making bloody videos about £40,000 watches or whatever it was. But say that's what you get, man. That's not particularly fair, but it's maybe naive of him to have done that. But those guys know their stuff. They know what they're talking about. I was only ever.
Simon, are you going to go into gourmet? Yes. Gourmet. Why don't you go gourmet?
No,
gourmet.
I listen. The thing is this, right? I could go into, as regards going to the sort of top quality butcher things. I mean, a little bit of a a little bit of a trick in the old butchery trade, and I have a friend who has a nice little butcher shop. Saying nice little butcher, that's actually quite a rough and ready little butcher shop. But here's the thing: it's in a nice area, right? Therefore, because it's in a nice area, he can buy the same stuff that we buy, and charge more money for it. And when I say more money, I mean twice, 3 times the money for it, because his clientele will buy that. It's no different from what I'm selling. It's no different from what I sell in the markets, but you know, he can get more money for it just down to location. So there's a lot of this stuff, this quote unquote gourmet stuff, that is, it's just the same. It's just where you're selling it and how you sort of frame what you're selling. You know,
so in essence, it's the same cows.
A lot of the time, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, unless there's like a different herd eating better grass or something like that, or in a nicer area. Or...
I must say, where I live, there's a really cheap butcher in Anala, and when I bought T-bones from them, it's the toughest bloody T-bones you'd ever had. Whereas I've spent money and bought nicer T-bones, from a different shop, they were very soft and tender and beautiful. So you do get what you pay for, Simon.
Simon, I mean, have you used sous vide any to make any of your beef? Cook it.
Have I used what? Sorry?
Sous vide.
What's that?
Seaweed. I never heard of that.
Seaweed.
I've never heard of sous vide. I've never heard of this.
No.
Well, and keep in mind, I'm from Oklahoma, and it's a French term, so I'm more than likely mispronouncing it. S-O-U-S.
Right. Never heard of it.
-V-I-D-E. It's basic. You seal the meat up airtight as much as possible. You drop it in water, and the ANOVA it gets it precisely to a precise temperature and circulates around it and keeps it exactly at the same temperature. You could cook it for longer. So if it's seasoned or anything else, it's nice and slow, and kind of the flavors really get into it. It's uniformly cooked, and then in that case, when you finally pull it out and sear it, just so it'll look pretty and caramelize the outside of it, it's uniformly cooked and really more tender than usual. Never heard of sous vide? No,
I mean when I see it, when I have a steak, I threaten it with a frying pan for about 30 seconds, and that's as far as my cooking goes. I don't fuck about with steak. I just, I know a lot of people do. I mean, I think it's an Australian thing, is it not, where people bury, they dig a pit in the garden, a fire pit, and then bury meat in that or something like that. It just seems like a very over elaborate way of cooking something. There is an old saying in butchery though, and that is that heaven sent the butchers and hell sent the cooks. So a lot of the times, if you have sometimes people can buy a bit of steak, and 2 people can buy it, and one can cook it perfectly, and the other one will just overcook it for a couple of minutes and ruin it. You could literally 2 identical bits of steak off the same loin, and one can be beautiful, and one can get slightly overcooked, and it's tough. So, I mean, just the quality difference. Yeah, I mean, you get different quality stuff, but sometimes mediocre or medium quality stuff can get talked up to being worth 2, 3 times what it's actually.
It's mutton dressed as lamb. It's mutton dressed as lamb.
Well, do you know what, right? Do you know what?
I wish I had ate dinner.
Where do you think that saying come from?
Where's that from? The butchers.
Butchers.
Simon, you were saying you're thinking about getting out of butchery. Any other career thing?
It's either from butchers or from oyster grape perpetual wearers, but it's probably
both. I could just think. Sorry, I'm just looking at the super chat. I'll get back to your question in a minute, Archie. Simon, do you think the koala bears threaten Archie in the Brisbane local park where he shoots his videos because he waves a Patek Philippe like Paul Thorpe? No, I really don't think Archie, do koala bears threaten you?
No, they're very timid animals.
I
bet they are.
They're nocturnal. They're nocturnal, for God's sake.
That's fine. I lost my thread now. What was your question again?
I was saying, what else are you going to do besides butchery? Any other career moves? We were talking about you doing something else.
Well, I was considering, I'd like to get into selling cars, like a sort of for a big sort of a luxury sort of dealer, like
you'd be perfect at that.
Like that. But
you could wear the grape. You'd wear the sub or the grape, I reckon. Perfect.
Well, this is the thing. As I say, it would take a lifestyle change like that to maybe then allow me to buy a Reverso. But no, but so left Buttery back in August, and he become a lorry driver. So there's always an option there because I can drive a Class 1 truck. So that's always another option. But we'll see how it goes.
You know what I reckon you should do?
Year brings.
You know, I reckon you should do, Simon. Instead of working for somebody else, why don't you buy a nice motor car? Because you know a bit about cars. You had a Porsche. You had a few Porsches. You've had some different cars.
One Porsche.
Why don't you buy a good one, clean it up, make it look beautiful, sell it, and just run it as a site? Why don't you work for yourself instead of working for some other geezer? Why don't you do it yourself? Because I think you're quite ethical. Right now, you're a good salesman. You're quite ethical. You love the product. Why don't you do that?
I don't know. If something comes up where I mean, right now, I want the security of having a job, working for someone else. Whereas, you know, working for yourself is a plunge. It literally is a sort of plunge into the darkness. And it's not like my wife it's not like my wife has this sort of great job that we can fall back on. I mean, I know a lot of self-employed guys, and they're afforded the luxury of being able to sort of go out and expand and try new things. But then when you talk to them, you realize that they're getting a £1,000 a month pension from the army, and their wife's a sort of staff nurse that gets about £40,000 a year. So you think, well, all of a sudden there's a sort of a good income coming into that house already before he starts to sort of go out and expand and fuck about and try entrepreneurial things.
Well, it has to be that way anyway, because any business is going to take a while to become even self-sustaining, let alone profitable. Okay, let me read this one. Guess who it's from? Simon, which one of these two would give you the shits first? Qualify as a shitter category. Archie's EPA base Breitling or a Manchester takeaway curry.
The Mancunian curry, absolutely. I wouldn't touch that. It would go through you like a fucking Porsche. That would. You had a Mancunian curry, right? You'd be shitting through the eye of a needle, right? Honestly, you would have to shit through a sieve to find the lumpy bits.
Is it that bad?
Deli belly. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, you talking about watching British programs. There are programs out there that follow sort of fly on the wall documentaries that follow like environmental health departments about. And this is Tansy, who works for like Hammersmith or Tower Hamlets City Council. They're going out to some Indian restaurant or some little rat infested Chinese takeaway or wholesale food outlet. Jesus, you should see the state of some of these places.
Actually, I have seen the customers. I've seen the customers super size or super skinny. I've seen the customers. They order curry, a kebab, and it gets delivered to them. I have started watching that.
That's funny. I just had Indian for lunch. That's kind of so they have Indian food in Britain too.
That's the number one seller. That's the number one seller. Indian food is so popular.
There's quite absolutely, and there is quite. There's probably a million. I think it's something like a million. It must be over 1 million Indians living in.
Simon, I think you would be perfect selling cars. You know something, Simon? I wanted to do that too.
1 million Indians living in Britain.
Oh God, yeah, the Sikh population of Britain must be 1 million. Must be.
So what tribe do they belong to?
The Indians is either Sikh or Hindu. Is it Sikhs? I think generally it's Sikhism. I got a mate of mine who's a Sikh. But yeah, I mean they sort of frequent a lot of the northern towns, and I think the Asian population of Britain is about. I think the Asians, the sort of people of Asian heritage, if you want to call them that, and be politically correct, are about 4% of the entire population. But mind you, if you were to look
hang
at
on a minute, I don't understand this. Why do the Brits include people from India as Asians? Asians means you were from Thailand, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Yeah.
You know, even Japan.
That's right.
Asians are not Pakis, okay?
I see. I've been ad up for this before. Calling. See, this is the thing, right? What I would call what you've just said there. I mean, Japanese and Chinese. I would call Oriental or Far or East Asian, Far Asian.
Orientals, right? Okay.
But I've been told that that's an offensive term. Dennis Chow, little Dennis Luxury. I met him back in August, and we were talking. He'd literally come up to Edinburgh. No, that was back in February. He come back up to Edinburgh about July, August time, and I took him out for we had a quick sherry together. And
is he a nice guy?
I sort of broached the subject with him. Dennis is very, very nice. He's very quiet, very conservative. You're sort of typical sort of East Asian. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, immaculately turned out. He's very dapper.
Yes,
he's a very dapper young man. Has to be said.
He's got the Speedmaster.
He does, and it suits him. Although he has the slenderest of wrists, that has to be said. But I asked him about the Oriental question. I said, "Would you being referred to as Oriental be offensive?" And he went, "No." I said, "To the average sort of Malaysian or Chinese, would being referred to as Oriental?
I don't think it's offensive. I don't think it's offensive."
Here's the answer. This was his answer, right? And I quote, he said to me, "Simon," he says, "in China or Malaysia, they wouldn't find it offensive." He said, "However, if you took that same person and put them in a university in the Western world, they would be offended by it."
See,
I think it's the world we live in, isn't it? So, in China, Oriental is not offensive. Put them in a British university, Oriental, I'm offended. You're a racist.
So what's this channel on?
I know we do that.
What's this channel on the food services? I want to watch that. What's that program called? I love British TV.
I can't remember its name. It's literally, it's one of these. What was the name of the bloody thing?
I've been addicted. I tell you, I've been addicted to Can't Pay, Will Take It Away. That's what it's called. Can't Pay, Will Take It Away, and also Parking Mad. That's the programs I've been addicted to.
Yeah.
I used to repo cars in law school. It was fun.
Yeah, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the program, but it's literally a fly on the wall documentary where they follow the environmental health department from Tower Hamlets in London, and they follow these people and they go around. Who's this? Simon, are Oriental watches with in-house movements superior to Archie's generic ETA-based Breitling? Yes. Let's have some. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Fuck it. I'd rather have an Orient with an in-house movement than an ETA-based Breitling. There you go. I've said it.
Especially if it's a white-dialed one. See, he didn't even just get an odd duck. He didn't get a diver from a brand that's renowned for its chronographs. He actually had to go and get the Polar Explorer of Breitling divers, literally.
Oh, but by the way, I found that channel, that documentary you're talking about. It's called Food Inspectors.
Oh, is that the one? Right. Okay.
Is that the one? Is that it?
Okay,
Food Inspectors.
It might be that. I'm sure there was more generic. Because I can often remember when it was
the Restaurant Man.
When this one was on, here's one for you. When this
Restaurant
one was
Violations
on about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's not Restaurant Violations. Although take a look at that, because these things are always really interesting.
Yes.
One of the health inspectors always had to go out to this old man's house. This old man was a hoarder.
Yes.
And before they sort of made, Jesus, you should have seen a state. I think he was like an old. I'm sure the old chap was like an old. I'm sure he was like an old Jewish refugee, like a survivor of the Holocaust. And the state of this guy's house, and eventually they ended up evicting him and having to go in and clear the house. And I think they used about 4 12-yard skips to empty basically a shite out of this guy's house. It was an absolutely disgusting.
Mom and dad's house. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just terrible.
I've got to tell you, Simon, I love that sort of English. I love the English. They've got the best documentaries. I don't know what it is with the English. They just have absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I know, but you wouldn't eat in a Chinese restaurant. Again, when they get to this, this is, Mr. Lim's Chinese restaurant or whatever it is, and they go out and it's like, look, you can't, you've got a chopping block, but the chopping block sat on the bunker worktop, and you've got a cloth between to hold the sort of chopping block. So they put a cloth down and they lift the chopping block up. And it's like, the cloth is like a browny yellow color. It's like, you know what? You can chuck that away and put another cloth there if you like. And look at the underside of the cutting block's got maggots on it and there's cockroaches and
yes,
so you've got a rat infestation. You've got a rat problem. No, we don't. So I walked in and saw a rat. Literally. I've just seen a rat in your shop, just oh God, I mean, why you would eat in these places? Why? It's disgusting. Oh dear.
Simon, have you got hope for the British? Tell me this. Do you see hope for these people, the British? Are things improving? Is England, the United Kingdom getting better? You're in Scotland, of course, aren't you? You're in Scotland. Are things getting better in England or worse?
In what respect?
After Brexit.
Like, are things...
I think...
Like, these programs are very depressing. Council House, Britain on benefits, parking mad. Is England that really backward and nasty? I mean, is it really that vicious?
Thing is, I mean, when you're on benefits, you don't. It's like everything else. You don't have to stay on benefits, do you? You can go and get a job and find you out. We are kind of fucked. I think,
Yeah, but as soon as if you're on benefits, Simon, what I've seen on Britain on benefits, as soon as a lot of these people get evicted because they're on benefits, they get a job, then they don't get the rent subsidy, then the council's not paying the subsidy to the landlord, and then they get evicted because of they've trying to better themselves.
Oh, super chat. Simon,
hang on.
What is your take on homage watches and homage watch gurus? Steinhardt to a Rolex in terms of build and design. Andy Hunter to Archie Luxury.
Can I just say to the guy, see Tanzil, or as I like to call him, Mark, to give him his real name, because I know who that is. That question has to come from one of the Watch Gurus Busted group, probably Mark, or maybe one of the others. But
Mark F.
I hazard a guess that's yes. That's the guess that's who that is. What's your take on homage watches? You know what, right? I've not got a problem with homages. If you want to fucking wear a homage, wear a homage. As long as it's as long as it's not overly expensive. I mean, this is what I liked a good Steinhardt back in the days. 3 years ago, I had a Steinhardt. Great, 300 quid or whatever. Brilliant. When you start getting into the homages that are getting up to like £800,000-900,000, like dare we say it's Squale, then no, don't go there.
I actually have
so in terms of building, Andy Hunt to Archie Luxury. Andy's already, he gets a hard time. He gets a hard time from people. But what are you going to say?
I actually have a question for you, and I do kind of miss. I miss the torture tests. You see, at one point, Archie was going to do a GoFundMe to get a Squale Lion Shart. And then I was suggesting that what he should then do after he does the review, he should send it to you for intensive.
Yes, we were going to send it to Simon. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, no, I would definitely make a comeback for that one.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to say that test would be... Unfortunately, I'd have to be biased and make sure that it fucking died. It would I would just, I'd just have to find a higher point of the bridge to throw it off and then, make sure it stays in the freezer just a little bit longer than what I left the others in the freezer for. And ironically, that crash test, the last one I did, was the last one I did, was the fake Rolex crash test. And I put that up and kind of forgot about the video. And I looked I looked the other week at just out of curiosity to see how it was doing. It's on like 90,000 views, or 85,000 views or something. So
Wow.
that ended up becoming that's by far my most popular
Well
video
done.
by a mile, an absolute mile. It's funny, isn't it? Where that becomes, there was a bit of work involved in sort of putting that together. Yeah, other people can do a sort of a review of a citizen, some citizen bloody solar watch, and sit down with that for 5 minutes and get 100,000 views on something like that. But
Oh,
get off the table. Sorry, hang on, my cat's on the dining room table. I can't stand that. Off.
Simon, when B. Williams dropped his Rolex off the roof of his car while driving, Watchbox donated him a new watch. Butcher, will you donate Fed a steak?
I'd give Fed a steak. Yeah, I'd give him a bit of beef if he liked.
Hashtag no homo.
I'm sure Federico would, if he come to Scotland, I'd certainly treat him to a little steak. I'd say any of them come to Scotland, I'd take them out for a nice bit of salmon or a steak or something like that. And because I think the reality is in real life, if you used to meet these guys, no matter what we think of different people online, if you were to actually meet them in real life, you'd probably get on okay with them. Will you get off the sodding table? Move. Sorry. Look at this, look. Hang on.
Is that a cat or a kid?
It's a cat.
Bloody child. 1 minute.
Oh, it's a child.
Sorry, I've got my works clothes on.
Well, we can see you. Simon, what's going on here?
I know. Look at this. Right. Look at that. Sitting on the bloody table. There you go. I'm going to work soon. I'm going to turn this off. I don't like being on camera.
What time is it in the UK?
It's 5 to 2 in the morning, so I'm going out in
5 to 2.
Half an hour.
Wow. Yeah. What time do you start?
I'm going to go in about half an hour. I've got an early start tomorrow morning, so I'm going to get off the phone in about 10 minutes and go get a bit of toast and get my bag together and head out the door. So yeah.
Oh,
living in Scotland. So, sorry, somebody.
No, that's right.
Close. Somebody said a bit.
Here's another one. Simon, what is smoother, a Mort Latch 18 Speyside whiskey, or any watch's movement other than Archie's Shitter Breitling?
Take the whiskey. Take the whiskey. Can I just answer another question? Jimmy's asked me, I thought you were a Brit living in Scotland, ? Well, listen, just to clarify this, right? Scotland is a country, right? Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, Wales make up Britain. So if you are a Scot, an English, a Welshman, or from Northern Ireland, you are a Brit. So I am both, I live in Scotland. Scotland's part of Britain. So, and now the cat has now decided to stand on my computer keyboard and practically switch the computer off. Get off. So, yeah, no, I'm in Scotland. Scotland's still part of Britain, but I'm actually English. I was born in England to English parents, and I moved literally 300 miles north to Scotland. But we're all British.
What made you go to? What made your parents go to Scotland? Why did they want to do that?
My dad back in the 70s. My dad and his the chap that he worked for, who I now work for, started doing outdoor retail markets in Scotland. And they decided to come up to Scotland because it was like, at the time, it was untapped. It was an untapped market, if you would. And so they used to drive up on a Wednesday, do markets Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then drive home Saturday night. Today, I tell you, they used to do a market in Bonnyrigg on a Thursday, Bathgate Friday, and Wishaw on a Saturday, then drive home. Today, I was at Bathgate, and it was the last day of trading of that market, and that's over 40 years continuously that we have had a butcher truck on that market, and today was its last day. My first day's work there, I remember helping my dad when I was a kid. So my first day that I worked on that market, I was about 9, and my first wage was a Star Wars figure.
Huh.
That's how long ago.
So you're telling me it stopped today? How do you mean it stopped? Like, let's see, it's the last trading. What?
Yeah, the woman that owns a site, she sold the site. She's selling the site to. But there you go. So.
So it stopped. Sorry,
you. Boggin gypsy.
I bet you the money was better. The punters were better 40 years ago than now, aren't they?
Okay. Here's a super chat. This is. I'm starting to enjoy these. I have to admit. Simon, who got fisted more? Europe when Brexit occurred, or Archie's bank account after he purchased a watch? Purchased after purchasing a watch with little chance of holding its resale.
I tell you what, Europe will get fisted more, right? Simple as this. If Brexit is carried out correctly, because I think this was a previous question I was asked about Brexit. Brexit is if the British government carries out Brexit correctly, basically by walking away and telling them no deal and going to standard, I think it's WTO trading sort of tariffs. Brexit, Europe's basically fucked without Britain. Europe needs Britain to pay in so it can pay out all these little satellite countries. So the money Archie may lose on his Breitling will pale into insignificance compared to what Europe could lose with Brexit. However, the only problem we have here is that we have absolute arseholes in charge of whatever political party you would vote in the UK. And they will basically, our politicians, who are all Remainers, who want to remain in the EU, they will fist the British public and shaft us. I mean, Theresa May, the EU's turned around and said, well, we want 100 billion euros off of Britain before they leave. And everybody sort of went, well, what for? What the hell fucking for? What do you want that for? What? And she's agreed to pay them something like 30 odd billion euros. And everybody's saying, what the fuck are you giving them this money for? What is this money for? What exactly? And this shows you exactly what the EU thinks of Britain. If even a socialist Labour MP, who was one of the Brexiters, even she turned around and said, you know, that shows you what the EU thinks of Britain. All they want to talk about is how much money we're going to give them. And that's exactly what we are at Britain. And I want to quickly answer another question. It was another statement. Jimmy has written in the comments, I have a PM who only cares about legalizing pot. Jimmy, can I take a guess and say that you live in Canada? And somebody says, fuck your PM. Your PM is a C. That's our PM. Well, yes, she is. She's certainly no fucking Margaret Thatcher, put it that way. No, our politicians will absolutely sell us down the river. There was a picture, I saw a picture the other day, and it was Guy von Hofstadt from the EU, Angela Merkel, German Chancellor, the cuck that France have in power, Emmanuel Macron, and Theresa May, all standing chatting, right? And I look at these four people, none of them have a child. There's not one of them. They're all childless. And I look at these people and think, these people care nothing about our children's futures. All they care about is their short-term political future. I could go further into it, but I know your sort of audience probably doesn't want to get too deep into, I could start going on about the Calgary plan and all that sort of thing, and the pan-European project. But there you go. No, we don't need the EU. They need us more. I think it was paramount that we try and get a decent trade deal with America while Trump's in power.
Actually, what did the British think about Trump over there? Would you like to have Trump as a prime minister?
Look, all I'll say about Trump is this, right? You had probably the second worst candidate for president ever beat the worst candidate for president ever. I mean, it'd be the equivalent of, in soccer terms, Donald Trump scored 3 own goals and still managed to win. And this guy could score a fucking, an own goal from the penalty spot and still beat Hillary Clinton. But would
you trade Theresa May for Donald Trump?
would I trade Theresa May for Donald Trump? Probably right now I would, because I'll tell you what, Trump would stand up to Trump wouldn't he wouldn't break or bend to the EU. But they're all pretty useless. I mean, I'll be honest with you, even UKIP now are, you know, fucking out in the wilderness. I mean, that was the sort of, well, they were the sort of, they say they're far right. I mean, people like to call UKIP far right, but they're not far right. They're just classic conservatives. But the problem is that our quote unquote conservative party now are, you're just watered down liberals. So it's a case of, it's just a scale of liberalism. You know, we're not very liberal, therefore we're conservative. Or we're not as liberal as the liberals, so that makes us conservatives. Well, they're not proper conservatives. Right. Another super chat in.
Old Biz, is white dial privilege overrated? And how much do black dials matter? Careful in answering this. I'm the only African American here tonight.
Oh God! Oh, listen, don't talk to me about upsetting African Americans, especially regarding wristwatch communities.
I just want to say quickly there, I do love Muhammad Ali. He's the greatest.
Actually, I think what Simon means to say is his response would be all dials matter.
My response to that would be, it's okay to be a white dial.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but white dial privilege is not universal, for instance. Like, for instance, if you're a Breitling, there's no privilege in that. So actually, yeah. So actually, there is no white dial privilege for Breitlings. As a matter of fact, I think a black dial would be privileged for a Breitling Super Ocean.
Sorry, I've just read the next super chat.
What did it say? What?
Simon, would you rather get an oily Nuru massage from Federico, the portly Puerto Rican, or have your knighting from the gentry televised in the Lord of Luxury? Oh God. Jesus Christ. I'm in contact with Lord of Luxury. I must admit, I keep meaning to Lord Luxury. Yeah, I'm in contact with him. We've chatted a few times actually, and he keeps wanting me to do a stream with him. But if you listen to some of the content he puts out, I thought, I'm sorry, man, you're getting fucking nowhere near my channel. I'll have my channel shut down after one stream. He's. I'd
like to work sometime.
He's unbelievable. I'll answer the question. I think I'd rather be knighted on the Lord of Luxury channel by a certain urban person than have a massage from Fed. I'm sorry, Fed, but that's the truth. Somebody else. Jimmy's asking, what do you think of the Iron Lady? I'll be honest with you. The Iron Lady, he means Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
Margaret Thatcher worked for my family. She worked for them. As I was explaining before about when we come up to Scotland originally, it was because it was easier for basically nobodies and small business people, and anybody had a bit of get up and go about them could go out and expand and try and do their try different things as regards consumerism or capitalism, if you would, and it worked for us. Right, I do understand, however, and I've got to say, especially I know a lot of people up here that hate Margaret Thatcher, and if you were a coal miner in the 1980s, you're going to hate her, and she wasn't the best for you, put it that way. But for me, for my family, yes, we were Thatcher fans. She took no shit. I wish she was. We could do with a Margaret Thatcher in charge now when it comes to
Brexit,
to dealing with Brexit in the EU. But yeah, no, I mean, she showed that, as regards the Falklands War, she wasn't going to take any shit off the Argentinians. I remember if you ever saw the documentary about the Iranian embassy siege, she basically stood up and said, right, while all the men that worked underneath her in a cabinet were pussyfooting around actually sending the army in, she was the one that signed the form. She said, right, fucking give me the form, signed it, right, turn the situation over to the army, and the army went and stormed the place, and stop the siege, basically. And yeah, so I certainly would get a thumbs up from the Iron Lady. You know what? The thing is with the likes of Margaret Thatcher, see in today's political climate, somebody like her with a sort of very cast iron conservative values would get nowhere near politics these days. She would be such an absolute outlier. She would be, wow, she'd be considered probably further right than UKIP. But no, I liked her. Yeah, I liked her. So sometimes you need a firm authoritarian hand in charge. But with that, she allowed people a lot of freedom to go out and, you know, start businesses and basically, you know, use capitalism to their advantage. But so there you go. If you were working for if you're working down Pitt at the time, you'd probably disagree with me. But there we go.
Well, controversial.
So Jimmy and I seem to agree on quite a lot.
Now,
she was what? Sorry.
You know, controversial at the time. I actually remember, I mean, a lot of news stories, even in America, watching them at the time about the privatization of national industries. Now, Jenny Yaxter had a question, and she wants to preface this with, she's not racist. And yes, Jenny, we know you're not racist because you're Latina. Anyway, what are black people called in Britain?
Black people.
They're called black people?
Just black people. You know, I'm just, you know, I mean, you basically wouldn't say, no, I think over here it's
Jamaicans?
It's one of them things where you call a spade, not a manual digging implement, just because you don't want to offend someone. Right. But if I was to listen, if somebody committed a crime and he was running off down the street, a policeman said, "Could you describe him?" Yeah, it was a black guy about 6 foot tall. You wouldn't sort of beat around the. I don't think you'd beat around the bush in that respect. But the black people in the UK aren't seen as different. They're not. We don't look upon black people as in the same respect that maybe a white American would look on a black American. And I think we definitely don't have that relationship or lack of relationship with black people over here. I have to rebut you there sometimes. I'm sorry, you said she's Latino, so she can't be racist. I disagree with that comment. Anybody can be racist, and everybody can be racist.
That was a joke, actually, Simon. That was a joke.
Yeah, no, that's fine then, because I'm quite I've become sort of a bit of a crusader about that sort of thing now. So no, indeed. I mean, some of the just because you're an ethnic minority doesn't sort of doesn't excuse somebody for.
Line up, Francis. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, as she said that, you know, I've known racist Latinos. This is the thing, isn't it? Along those sort of paths, along those lines, is this sort of idea that if you're an ethnic minority, you can be collectivist about your own group. You can be pro your own group. For argument's sake, a Latino group. You can be pro other Latinos. But the minute you're the majority, especially a white majority, you're not allowed to be pro your own group, which is essentially where the alt-right are. That's exactly what they are. All they are.
We missed a super chat. What is less manly, to play the bagpipes or to make a dozen videos about the man on the moon while walking alone in a Brisbane park?
Putting on a skirt and playing bagpipes. You know what? I saw a man in a kilt this morning, right? He was at the tea van getting a cup of tea. Suddenly jumped out of his bus that he was driving. He was wearing a kilt and a high-vis jacket, and he was getting a bacon and egg roll at the tea van. This is at 10 to 7 this morning.
Right.
Right. So that's you know, that's where we are. So there's nothing not manly about wearing a kilt, I've got to say. You see, and it's funny because you see a guy wearing a kilt in Scotland, and people don't sort of. You can always tell the foreigner because they're sort of like staring at this guy walking past wearing a kilt, whereas, you know, the Scots sort of don't really give it a second glance. You know what I mean? Although it's not exactly, it's not a common sight. It has to be said, it isn't a common sight. But, you know, people don't sort of stand and stare, and they certainly don't stand and stare when they see somebody wearing one.
Now, Simon, I don't want to be rude there. That 10 minutes is possibly past. I don't want to make you late for your job to get you in trouble with your boss.
You know, yeah, you're right enough. I'm going to have to go. Thanks for pointing that out.
Simon, it's been a pleasure to have you anytime. Please come again.
One really quick question about Brexit. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Go
on, just hit me with a quick one.
No.
That was the joke. That was the joke. That was the joke. That was the. Okay, Simon.
Right,
thank you so much. See you later.
Nice to speak to you. Have a nice Christmas, chaps. Have a nice Christmas, chap. Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
I tell you what, there, Clive. He's a lovely guy, isn't he?
Oh, he is. Actually, yes, he is.
He's a really nice.
The chat has been just going, brrr, but actually, Mr. Panaristi wrote us a Fistmas carol.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can find. Okay, it was maybe 7 or 8 super chats ago. By the way, I actually see your. I see your point, your business plan about the white dial Breitling. Because any loss about the white dial Breitling has been offset by Tansil and Sorry already. So
yes,
awesome.
Clive, see you later. Tomorrow is Christmas in Australia. Will we be having some We'll be having some live shows. Let's do it, Clive.
Yeah, can we do something with Papa Pluta? I have so many questions. I have so many questions for Papa Pluta. Please, 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 please. Oh God, yeah. I mean, you can
boring.
go off.
He's boring. He's boring.
Oh, that's all right. I would love to talk to him. You could just set the iPhone up and just walk off, and I will talk for 2 hours to him. I've got questions. I really have questions.
Okay.
Oh, super chat. Archie, would you prefer sipping a dram of fine Johnny Walker Blue Label Scotch or Mimi T's bathwater?
Blue Label Scotch any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Now, like I said, Mimi T was a tiny bit before my time, but went back and saw some of the videos. But
the videos are all gone. I took them all down. I took them down.
Well, I saw Chinese, an Asian chick with a British accent. Yeah.
I tried to get it to work, but it was a ratings failure, Clive.
Right. Much like the 123 people watching now. Oh wait, $10 super chat. Little Lost Lotus. Oh, okay, yeah.
He's really cool. He's got the Lotus sports car.
Archie, I'm saving for a turnograph. In the meanwhile, my dealer has a Breitling Chronomat Blackbird A13350 at a good price. The SR-71 is my favorite plane. Well, duh. And I'm considering picking it up. Thoughts?
How cheap? How cheap? I must admit, I'm not a huge fan of that particular model. Not a huge fan. I don't really like the Chronomat. But Breitling's got some amazing bang per buck. And it is a typical geezer's watch. If he likes British sports cars, I can't think of a better match. A Breitling and a British sports car.
Nice.
If it's cheap enough, haggle hard because Breitlings are hard to resell.
Okay. Mr. Panaristi, I really, really wanted to read your Fistmas carol, but it is too far. I mean, it is going to take me like 10 minutes to go all the way back and find it, assuming I can't even find it. Yeah, it's only letting me scroll back so far, so I'm sorry. Now, Mr. Panaristi, if you can redo the Fistmas carol, I will sing it in my best Bing Crosby.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's an offer. Tomorrow we'll be on this channel. Tomorrow, Clive. Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow, okay?
Okay. Well, yeah. No, SR-71 is an aircraft, the Blackbird. Yes, obviously. AC-2 will shut you down. Are we? Please, can I? Please. Are we gonna take the phone over to Papa Pluta's house?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, because I definitely I've prepared GV style. I've got like a little notebook, a stenographer's notebook that's just filled with questions for Papa Pluta.
Okay. No worries.
All right. Well, like I said, so my day is getting ready to end. Oh, what did you think about the Rolex? What is it? Are they Rolexes or Rolexi? Plural.
That is the question. Yes. Look, Clive, I love them. I think you should. I reckon you should start put them on Craigslist tonight. Take good photos, and Put them out there.
Super chat. On the 12th day of Christmas, the governor's governor gave to me a fucking shitty lion and a shark squale.
What a great line. Clive, let's cut it down. I got to shoot. Thank you so much. Fist, fist, fist. See you tomorrow.
What does FIST stand for? What does FIST stand for? Pluta.
Pluta's Horological Institute of Swiss Timepieces. Thank you so much.
Merry Fistmas.
Ciao.